Is your teenager developing an eating disorder? Well, let's talk about that today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I jump into Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's jump into today's. As the summer has winded down, I've noticed my daughter has started eating less at dinner time. She's also been talking about doing some kind of keto diet or something. She won't be specific about what she wants to eat, just that she doesn't like what we have in our house. I feel like she's becoming really image conscious because of going back to school and being seen by other kids and boys again. How do I know if she's going too far? She's still a healthy weight for her age, 15, but I don't want it to get out of control. What are the warning signs, and what can I do as a parent? Thank you for your question. I'm seeing this grow more and more, especially as kids have been away from school for the last year and a half. Now they're coming back, and some of their bodies have changed, and they're uncomfortable. Eating disorders are a big deal. They are not a fad or a phase your kid's going to go through and grow out of. If your daughter is developing an eating issue, it's important and needs to be addressed carefully and responsibly. Here are some signs. Now, restricting her diet, eating less at dinner, having a very restricted diet that she will only adhere to, especially if she's not really communicating to you what that is, just she's not going to eat the food in the house. These are all signs. I'm concerned about these signs. Other things you may want to look out for are, is she eating in secret? When she is eating with you at the table, does she get up often and go to the bathroom? Is she possibly going to the bathroom and purging, which is hopefully she's not, but it's something to consider. And she's becoming more body image conscious. Is she constantly comparing herself in the negative to Instagram models and other friends and this and that? Is she always seeing herself as negative in that body image issue? God, there's so many different possible red flags you can go over. I can't go over all of them, obviously. These are just a few of many. But I think this is something you need to address and address soon. This is not a logical problem. You cannot address this problem by saying, hey, here's a healthy meal plan set out by a nutritionist. Just follow this. Problem solved. That's not going to work because it's not a logical problem. It's an emotional issue. An eating disorder is a symptom of, you could look at it as it's a symptom of unresolved emotional trauma or emotions that are so uncomfortable that your child is finding a maladaptive way to cope with it by imposing control on what she eats. And of course, it's an unhealthy way and it's a vicious cycle. You also want to look out for things like possible self-harm. Is she cutting or scratching herself? Eating disorder can be seen as a form of self-harm, and it can metastasize as many different ways of self-harm. Again, scratching, cutting, pinching, burning, all kinds of things. So be aware of those things. If she's constantly wearing big, heavy, baggy clothes, won't go in the pool, won't get dressed in front of her mom, any of those things, something may be up, and you may want to have her. In fact, I encourage you to go see the pediatrician for a full physical checkup. Make sure her blood work's okay. Even if her body weight is still at a normal, quote unquote, normal range, that doesn't mean that she's not healthy. That she's healthy. She may be in a very unhealthy place. I encourage you to find a therapist who works with teens, has some experience with eating disorders, to really help her work through this. Because again, food is not the cause. The food is the symptom, or the lack of food. How she deals with food is a symptom. So the more she can go into and dive into the emotions and her self-image, and she can explore that, it gives her more choice and how she wants to cope with this. And hopefully you can deal with this early, because if not dealt early, if it really wraps, tornadoes into a big eating disorder, it's something she may have to deal with her whole life. Just like, someone who is an alcohol addict. They may be sober for 20 years, but they still have to deal with those addiction issues. And hopefully we can help your daughter nip this in the bud so she can have a healthy relationship with food, because it's an important part of, food's an important part of our life. Hopefully it's something that we all really enjoy. even if your kid is overeating, compulsively overeating, that's not an enjoyable experience. That is a horrible experience for most people who are overeating. So again, have her checked out by a pediatrician. If you work with a nutritionist, that's fine. Make sure they are emotionally aware of what's going on, and have a therapist who's involved in this too to help support your daughter. Thank you so much for your question. It's a big question. Obviously, can't solve all this issue in just one small little video, but hopefully this gets you on the road to getting her support and you support. And hopefully you don't fall in the pit traps of, telling her what to eat or how to eat, because it's just going to make things worse. Thanks again. My name is Kent Toussaint from Teen Therapy Center and Child and Teen Counseling. If you have a question you'd like me to answer here on Tips on Teens, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com. Thanks for your questions. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye, guys.